Such delay and welcome to the episode of In Conversation with Tibet TV. Today we have with us a very special person, a man who is currently serving as the president of Tibet Interest Group in the European Parliament. He has been serving as the president in this group for over 18 years, which reflects his long-term association and support to the Tibet issue. He is Honorable Thomas Mann. Very glad to have you here, Thomas. Welcome to the show. So Thomas, you've been in Dharamshala along with your colleagues and you even had an audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So how was your feeling meeting His Holiness?
For us it was very important because it was the 9th of May. And the 9th of May is a European Day. So in all the countries in the European Union we have the celebration. And also we visit normally schools, we go to the universities. We try to have contact with the people talking about the typical European item, also the movement, the problems which you have and the difficulties, but also the chances which we have. So especially on this European Day, we had the opportunity to meet His Holiness. It was great. And His Holiness, he underlined how important it is that we have a model from the European Union, a model for freedom, for peace, for justice, and also for the realization of human rights. And many countries, in his opinion, they respect the rules in the European Union. And also we support the middle way approach of His Holiness. This also was very clear. So we were there as friends and nothing else. European Union on a special European Union Day with European friends from Tibet.
So it was planned or it just happened?
It was planned on this day because for us it was so important to give a signal, also a signal for the people in European Union. And later on we used it by Facebook and we Twittered it and we got many people who admired this very much. Not to stay there in Europe. I will continue staying there next Monday in Europe, visiting again schools, so it's not a problem. For us it was of highest importance to meet His Holiness, especially on this very important day.
Your association with the Tibet issue has been for over 18 years and beyond. So what inspires you to champion the cause?
We are based on human rights. Wherever we are, if member of the European Parliament, member of the national parliaments or member of governments, we should give the people the real chance. So this is so important. Everything is relied on human rights. I got the contacts in Nepal when I was there climbing outside, having my trekking tours, and then I got contact with the Tibetan people there. And then coming back to the European Parliament, my colleagues said, okay, Thomas, you was there, and now you have very good inspirations there, so please use the chance to be our leader, and the other voted for me. I think it was not too bad.
So that was the time when you first met the Tibetan people and then got to know the issue?
Of course, I knew it before, because I knew something about Buddhism, about other religions, and from time to time I also have the realization of meditation, seeing the people arriving from Tibet in going to Dharamsala, and the step was there in Kathmandu, in the capital of Nepal. So I saw the people there and I said I should do a little bit more. I should do more for the people who only had the chance to leave their home and to survive, and also to use the opportunity to convince others to do a little bit more. So this solidarity, I got it, the feeling in Kathmandu. This was my personal experience. So, and then I started my career in the European Parliament, also in this dimension.
And Thomas, what does your family think or feel about your support for Tibet and the Tibetan people?
For us it was very clear. Living in a globalized world, so you have to demonstrate solidarity. You have to accept these minorities. You have to accept different views, different religions, different cultures. That's why we try to help the people here in Tibet. That's why I had the opportunity to visit Dharamsala, I think 5 or 6 times.
European Parliament, despite being a diverse body, has passed a number of resolutions on Tibet. So can you tell us, like, how does this work and what does it require for the European Parliament to pass such resolutions?
Being as a parliamentarians, we have some opportunities. For example, one instrument, these are the resolutions. So we as a member of the Tibet Interest Group, we have to collect other MEPs. We are there, and also we have to have the influence to other political groups. and then we try to have a common sense, to have a common resolution. And then we have a discussion. We prepare it normally in Brussels, and later on we have the discussion in Strasbourg and the decision. And then you have to have also the other different political groups on board. And very often we have a great majority concerning our resolutions. The fight against the people in China who makes pressure to the Tibetan people, or the destroyers of the monasteries, also the people, how they are suffering. Very often the policemen are there in the street, and so on and so on. So everything is on the agenda. Then we have our resolutions, and very often we have a strong demand for the European Commission, because the European Commission is responsible for foreign affairs. Once a year we have the dialogue between the European Union and China. Always on the agenda is the Tibet case. Then later on we got the results of these dialogues. There are not many progresses, that's we know very well. And also one strong demand was to start again the dialogue between His Holiness or the CTA with the Chinese people. They refused it always, but we can never stop this idea. So it's so important. Also our resolutions are very much tabled in other national parliaments. So also there are some existing Tibetan supporter groups. That's why we are working together.
So what do you think the reason is for the refusal in having a dialogue with His Holiness?
The most important is whenever there are conflicts, we should have discussions. It's not easy to sit there together when we have different views, no doubt. Why do they refuse autonomy? It's not a question of independence. It's autonomy status, and we have many examples, including in Europe. This works. So they have to see what's happened in the European Union. This also should be on the table. That's why it's always our strong demand. We will never stop with this idea.
So I have also read that there is always a meeting, like once a month, where all the members, they come together and then they discuss the issues of Tibet. Is it only about Tibet or other issues as well?
As a Tibet supporter group or Tibet interest group, TIG, we invite nuns and monks, we invite professors, we invite former prisoners, we invite people from the media and other tourists which had the opportunity to visit China. We want to have first-hand information, so this is very important. That's why every month we meet, also very often to prepare, for example, conferences. Last year in September we had a big conference. We prepared it together with other partners in Brussels. 350 participants we had from 50 countries, including His Holiness, including Dr. Lobsang Sangay, including Richard Gere. So for us it was very important to prepare also these very important political initiatives. That's why we are there every month. It's an ongoing process in our eyes.
You had been in Dharamshala for quite a lot of times, the last one being on March 2016. So what brings you to Dharamshala, and what changes have you seen for the past many years?
So my last visit was in 2016. I was one of the observers for the elections. You can be proud of these elections, no doubt, because everything was very clear, well organized, democratically, and also I had the opportunity to talk to the people about their enthusiasm to vote and to make it very clear. And now I'm here again, and I see a slight progress, yes, but it's not enough. It's not enough, and also the others, they are waiting for initiative from outside, for example, from the European Parliament. That's why you have to have clear contacts. Again, one very sad information was that when we met here, a house where young refugees just now arrived, or arrived last year, and we had the opportunity to hear their personal stories, how important it was for them to leave the home in Tibet, and how important it is that they can start a new life. So it was so impressive. That's why I think many other people, they have to know it personally. That's so important. That's why, for me, it was also important to be here.
And you have been here like long time ago, many years ago as well, and now you are here again. So what difference do you see?
The difference is that the people are changing, but the situation is not changing because you have to have much more support. by other countries. So for us, it's also a motivation for the better conditions or better opportunities to meet other parliamentarians. That's why I tried to invite national parliamentarians to the European Parliament, or also I have the opportunity to be there in some national parliaments to talk with the supporter groups. What can we do better? So we have to prepare again a conference with input. So these are different parliamentarians from different parts of the world, staying there together, changing views, and also talking about the real possibility of the autonomy status. So the people are changing, but the situation has not changed. But, the situation has to change, no doubt.
So you have paid visits at the Central Tibetan Administration very recently, yeah. And now you have seen all the construction that is happening there. And what Dr. Lobsang Singye wants is he wants to make a little Tibet in Dharamshala. So what do you think about that?
I think this is most important, because you have to show the people what is the typical Tibetan character, what is the Tibetan culture. We also had the opportunity to meet some people singing and dancing. And also when we had our rounding the tours here, you have to have a typical small view of Tibet, because otherwise the people are here. Very often we had a discussion with tourists, and they're trying to be outside, they're trying to climb, but also they try to support the Tibetan way. That's why you have to have this so-called little Tibet.
Okay, so do you have any message or advice for the young Tibetans in and outside exile?
My advice for the young ones is never give up. Please be engaged wherever you are. Not only to have fun, of course they have the right to have fun, but also it's a question of the inner strength. And I think they have all the opportunities. Also the other people in other countries, they are prepared to help you. So this is the most important, never give up.
Thomas, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for speaking to Tibet TV.
Thank you, and also we will never give up. Thank you much indeed.
Thank you so much for watching, and see you in our very next episode of In Conversation with Tibet TV.